You're listening to the Fitzy and Wippa podcast.
Jesus, not very often you get to snag the Australian Test cricket captain. And summer of cricket is about to kick off. We are so pumped. You can catch it all on Kayo. And he joins us now. Pat Cummins, welcome. Hey.
Good morning there. Jeez, you got up and about after that song, didn't you?
Oh, did you love it too? Do you reckon that's his best so far, Lewis Capaldi?
Oh, I felt it, yeah.
You did.
Hey, Pat, do you have music on in the change rooms before you go out to play?
We do. We've got a mixture of everything. Bit of Baby Shark if Davey's got it.
Really?
Some Katy Perry, some of the other batters get it.
Oh, I want to hear you roar.
Does anyone like the heavy metal or into the sort of rock kind of punk kind of genre?
Not really.
No.
You got Joshy Hazelwood on the Cold Chisel chain.
Yeah,
I was going to say, surely some Barnsey
All
and
that new
Farnsey.
I mean, you'd be a Kanye guy, Pat, wouldn't you?
I do like, yeah.
Yay.
When you're by yourself.
So, Paddy, we're about to kick off the summer of cricket. We're so excited, mate, and you can catch it all on KO. But today, I feel like Elise Perry is attempting to break a world record. Now, this is for the longest bowling run-up for KO this morning. Can you tell us how long this run-up is before she bowls a ball?
Yeah, so Elise is bowling, she's got a very sensible 6-kilometre run-up.
Oh,
Makes sense.
should be stuffed.
Having a bowl at Davey Warner. So,
Okay.
I think we'll need to check her Uber receipts when she turns up here.
Do you know what? It reminds me of the huge long run-ups you would do in the backyard, Pat, when you're facing your brother, or you're coming in to bowl to your brother or your sister or anyone like that. You would have. Was there any big backyard cricket games growing up for you, Paddy?
Yeah, spot on. Yeah, every afternoon. We had quite a slopey backyard, and we used to wet it down with a hose, shorts, like an absolute bowler's paradise back at home. So
Brilliant.
yeah.
I hope it's not a no ball. I mean, you've run 6 Ks.
I know.
Or you trip at the last minute as you get up there.
You're down and out because you've done your ACL.
Can we also say congratulations on the wedding, mate?
This is beautiful, Pat.
Oh, thanks for that. Yeah, great week.
We're
Yeah,
surprised you got her, to be honest. I mean, you did work very hard. Who did initiate the first date there, mate?
It was me. What did we do? Went down to the beach.
Oh, okay.
Really classy. Got a pizza. Actually, went to McDonald's the night before.
Yeah.
After our first date. So that was
Awesome.
technically the first one.
Awesome.
Well, we've just had Andy on the show, right? Andy Lee's just been on the show.
Okay.
So you're in a bit of trouble. He said one of the funny things he found from the wedding was Beck and Beck's English family quite prim and proper there at the wedding, and it was funny just seeing Nathan Lyon next to the family celebrating the day.
Spectrum.
But he wouldn't tell us who this is, Pat, okay? So we're trying to work it out. It was a cricketer, but this is what Andy had to say about your wedding.
Who do you think was best on ground and made the most of the bar tab? In fact, this particular person woke up and the guy didn't have his 2 front teeth. They'd been... he
Kidding.
tripped up the stairs.
Jeez.
But
I
apparently he lost them both and then just went, oh, well, and hopefully I'm still allowed in. This is we went into a different venue.
This is great. So, Pat, how much did it cost you to get your 2 front teeth replaced?
Well, this particular bloke is the tightest bloke you ever meet. So the thing that made him the most upset was going to be the dentistry bill.
Oh.
He managed to pull a couple of. It was a mate of a mate. Reckons it cost him $120.
Oh,
He was cheering.
Well, you know what I love too, Pat, is Ando went on to say that he knocked his teeth out and then it was like, oh, well, we'll just keep going.
Play on.
They're not going to fall out again.
Oh yeah, I won't disclose who it was. It's not an Aussie player, but he did struggle to finish off his kebab after that.
oh, we're going to have to find out.
Did you go on a honeymoon, Pat? Did you have time?
No, not really. Becky's family's all from England, so they were over. So we probably had the opposite of a honeymoon, really. We had a house full of in-laws.
Yeah, right, okay.
How are you finding it, Pat? I mean, it's a huge responsibility to be the Australian cricket test captain, but I think you've handled it really well. Have you really enjoyed it?
Thanks. Yeah, it's been great. I think the boys have been fantastic so far. Ashes series at home, having crowds back for the first time in a few years. It doesn't get any better than that. So, yeah, it's all been smooth sailing so far. Loving it.
How's the body going at the moment, Pat? You all right? No injuries? No niggle?
Well, there's always a few niggles, but I've had about 6 weeks off, so I'm ready to go. We go to India on Thursday for a few T20s. So ready for, once we get going, we're basically non-stop and ready to go.
And you get to do your favourite day of media today, Pat, as a cricketer. That would be one of the things that you look forward to?
Oh, it's like Christmas morning waking up today.
Pat, interesting too that, last time we spoke, we were also talking about your new virtual reality headset. Interesting that you timed it with your marriage. So I'm just picturing you at home with the in-laws and you're actually in another world wandering around in your lounge room.
Yeah, no comments.
Well, Pat, we know how busy you are. You're flat out at the moment. So thank you so much for coming on. But, mate, we also, we're trying to see if you guys are around. We're talking about mid-October, Pat. Will you be in Australia or are you still over in India still then?
Mid-October, we're back. We've got some T20s all around Australia.
Well, Pat, we've secured Kirribilli House. Anthony Albanese has said you boys can come back and play some backyard cricket there. So if you're floating around and you guys are free, we'd love to get a couple of you rolling your arm over.
Yeah, right. Sounds good. I'll tentatively confirm that.
All right, well, I'll jump in at this stage and say I'll have Pat on my team. So far I've got Pat and Andy Lee, and you can have Albo. Thanks, Pat.
No, thanks, Pat. We know how busy you are, mate. You can catch all the summer of cricket on Kayo. Thanks for coming on the show, legend.
Thanks so much.
You're listening to the Fitzy and Wippa podcast.